And welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. And this is the player ratings video for Everton's 2-2 draw away at Sheffield United. I did an instant match reaction to the game, which you can find on the channel, to kind of get my more immediate thoughts on the match as a whole. But going through each individual player performance, I think if we just jump straight into it and start with the hero once again, Jordan Pickford. That's already the first point of the season that he's rescued for us. You know, probably our best player, almost indisputably the last two seasons, and has again just started the season in similar fashion and had a really good game today. I thought Sheffield United weren't, never really had us under too much pressure at any given point, but there were a few times where they kind of hit us on the break a little bit and got into good positions, mainly through poor defending and players being out of position or whatever. But Pickford was there pretty much every time to make the saves. Thought he was very unlucky for the second goal, which obviously hit the post and then bounced back off his bat. Nothing he could have done about that. Obviously, nothing he could have done about the first goal. Really good finish. Damage had already been done, I think, long before the shot had come in. So, and then of course, a few good saves in the second half, and with that one where he's with the new fullback at the back post, Luke Thomas, caught in the end of that cross, and Pickford made himself really big, and it comes off his chest. Really good save, and then of course, the save at the end, absolutely outstanding from Ollie McBurney's header, literally last chance of the game from the corner. Really good header, absolutely fantastic save onto the bar, and then it obviously gets back up again, and saves the rebound as well. So just absolutely phenomenal from him again. And what else can you really say about Pickford? Really, it's just our most consistent player, indisputably, the last 2 years. Whether or not you thought other outfield players maybe performed better than him the last two seasons, I don't think anyone can argue about is just how much he rescues us and how solid his performances almost always are. So yeah, God knows where we'd be without him. Then, of course, Nathan Patterson. I know he was in for a lot of criticism, particularly in that first half. You could argue he was at fault for the second goal. I don't know. I'm a bit lenient with him. Obviously, I know it's going to frustrate a lot of people, but obviously he is still young, is still learning, and I think it's more on the club that we're having to start him every week with Coleman still being injured and there not being a preferable alternative. But at the same time, I still don't think he played as badly as people are making out. I'd say the fact he was out of position for that second goal, he got dragged over. It's probably more to do with Tarkowski, needed to be that captain and to be that leader and being able to organise his defence. And obviously, it was a bit of a miscommunication between them two. So, like I say, I have a bit of sympathy for Patterson in that regard. And then in the second half, I thought he was better going forward than he was in the first, and obviously gets a very good assist with a really good cross for the second goal, which Danjuma puts away. So I'm giving Patterson a 6, and I obviously actually I didn't even do the rating for Pickford as well. So yeah, Pickford gets an 8, and Patterson with a 6. And then, like I said, I've just mentioned him there, Tarkowski. I'm still going to give him a 6 because I thought he was solid enough on the whole, but I think he really needs to step up in as that leader. I mentioned it in the reaction video, but there's a part of me that seems to think he maybe, you think about how solid we were in defence last season, with Tim and Cody. I do start to think that maybe he's missing having a similar, leader next to him, who can organise a martial defence along with him. Maybe struggling to do that all by himself or whatever. But I don't know. It's something that I think needs to be improved because the defence is definitely, I think, our weakest aspect. Probably should have been strengthened more in the transfer window than it was, which obviously isn't on Tarkowski. But as our captain now, and one of the leading figures in the dressing room anyway, he really needs to make that step up if we're going to stop leaking goals like we are at the moment. And then similarly next to him, Jarrod Branthwaite, I think also suffered a little bit from that lack of leadership next to him, especially in the first half. But I thought in the second half, despite his youth and despite the fact he's still quite inexperienced in this league, especially in this league, in fact, I thought he really stepped up in that second half. He was, winning so many headers, um, winning a lot of tackles, like shrugging their players off the ball. Looked really strong, looked really quick as well, to be fair. And really gave a good impression of just how good a centre back he can go on to be, and already showing more than Michael Keane and Ben Godfrey who came on as well. Let's be honest. That has got to be the starting centre back pair, I think, going forward now 100%, and hopefully Dyche recognises that too. So yeah, a seven for Branthwaite, and then Ashley Young, I'd give a six, I think. Frustrating me because I think it's another one where it seems to happen a lot with our players. I don't know if it's just because we get so excited by new signings, but I thought in pre-season he looked so good, and maybe just because it's so new that it looks better than it is maybe. But I thought he looked so good in pre-season, and I think since we've started the season, maybe it's the step up in opposition perhaps that was leading to that deception. Because to be fair, he did also play pretty well when he came on against Doncaster, but I think he struggled a bit with just a bit lazy passes. I think I'd maybe describe it as sloppy, inaccurate, easily intercepted or whatever, just giving it away too much, which is frustrating. But then on the other hand, in his defence, his set pieces were much improved today. Of course, that's where our first goal came from, the corner, which landed directly on Onana's head, and he flicks it on for the Corey to score. So I think in that aspect, that's probably why he's not getting any lower. But excuse me, I'd like to hope that he steps up his performances going forward, because the alternative is Mikalenko, and as we saw in midweek against Doncaster, that's again not really a viable alternative, I would say. And then James Garner on the right, a poor performance again is a bit of a caveat in the fact that he's still being played out of position. He should be in the middle. Clearly not very comfortable on the right. Played in the middle against Doncaster on the weekend, and seemed a lot more comfortable. Hopefully now with McNeil, obviously, who came on, hopefully now him being fit and ready to go again after the international break, he can that will allow Garner to move into the middle and us to have more options on the wing. Obviously, Jack Harrison's probably not far off coming back either. So yeah, again, I'm gonna just give James Garner a six. Could have maybe got lower, because it was a pretty poor game for him as well. He didn't really get involved, and obviously didn't really play that winger position that he's obviously not going to be very natural in. But yeah, I think with the caveat of him being out of position, I still have a little bit of sympathy for him, and hopefully once he gets moved into the middle, he can be a bit more effective for us. And then Ganagay, again, similar to Ashley Young, really. Again, it's just a passing sometimes. We're too slow and sloppy in possession. And it should be simple passes, make it easy for each other. The amount of times it's not just Ganagay. Well, I don't want to feel like I'm like just laying into it, but the amount of times our players just fizz the ball at each other, and there's just no way of them being able to do anything with it. It's just the easy stuff. It's simple passes. And we just need to make it as easy as possible for ourselves, and yet we just do the complete opposite. Like I say, that's not just completely on Ganagay, but he was guilty of it a few times. Also thought he was maybe out of position even a few times. With our defence being, as I've mentioned, a bit more weaker than it was last season. I think he needs to be that shield a bit more. Obviously, it's not really his game. Obviously, he's a ball winner. He likes to go around the pitch trying to win tackles or whatever. Whereas we kind of need someone to sit a bit more. Maybe that's Onana. I'm not sure, but I do think our midfield maybe needs that a bit more. And I don't think Ganagay's for it, as was proved today. Really, so yeah, a six for him. Again, maybe could have been a bit lower, but I think overall no one played too badly today. And like I mentioned in the reaction video, I think we probably played well enough to win today, which makes it all the more frustrating that we only got a point. And again, I thought another one of our better performances today was Onana. I'd give him a 7. I think the last couple of games, Doncaster was probably our best player before the likes of Beto and Juma came on. I thought he was much improved, yeah, and I thought he carried it on today against Sheffield United. So he's really stepping up, as people have been asking him to. I think there's been a lot of stats going around about him being like kind of quietly effective, but he seems to be a bit more. Maybe it's just me noticing more because of that or whatever, but does seem to be a bit more noticeable now and having a bit more of an impact on things, winning tackles, progressive passes more than anything, rather than just passing it back. Always let's try and play it forward. Again, obviously got an assist with that header for Decore's first goal. Um, and yeah, 7 for him, and hopefully he can continue this level of performance because we need key players like that with the quality to step up for us. So yeah, fingers crossed. And in the Correa, as I mentioned there, scoring the first goal, I actually thought other than that he was pretty quiet, to be honest. He didn't really get involved too much, and when he did, again, similarly to Young and just Gay, sloppy, giving it away too much a bit for me, I think. Um, and yeah, just not really having that same impact that he. I don't know if it's maybe playing off better means he has a bit more of a different role. I mean, obviously, he's said before about how much he wants to play more box to box, and maybe he's doing that a bit more today, and that's why he wasn't as noticeable as he has been since Sean Dyche came in. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't think it was the best of performances from Decoy today. But again, with the goal, I guess maybe kind of boost it up to a 6, I guess. So um, yeah, I guess that's the Decoy's rating for that. And then Danjuma, I'd give a 7. Looking a lot more lively. Definitely seems to be growing in confidence. Taking on players more and beating them more importantly, of course. And again, that's 2 goals in 2 games for him now. So it's starting to, everyone knows how much we need more goals in this team. So he's starting to step up a bit more now. Was in a really good position for that goal to knock home Patterson's cross. And yeah, another good performance from Danjuma, and hopefully he can continue to step up for us. Obviously, like I mentioned before, with more wingers coming back fit, he'll obviously be fighting for his place perhaps a bit more. So, yeah, hopefully that'll be incentive for him to keep up this level of performance. And then finally, Beto, obviously, he's going to be one of the main talking points from this again. Just gives so much to us, doesn't it? It's mental. He's absolutely vital for us. So it's it's imperative that he keeps up this level of involvement, stays fit, and yeah, like I say, it just offers us an outlet that we've been crying out for so long now when Calvert-Lewin's not fit. And it's just more to the point in that you think how many games last season and even the first few games of this season that you just don't, you look at the pitch and you just don't know where the goals are going to come from. Now Better's on the pitch, that's not the case anymore. There's always a chance of us getting a goal. Obviously didn't score today, but was involved for the second goal, really good passing to Patterson, quick thinking, as I say. And we knew that going in from his interview and from obviously the scout report on the Toffee Blues channel here, which I suggest you check out. Really good analysis. And yeah, like I said, we knew he'd be involved in the build up as much as scoring the goals for us. And like I said, that was proved by the passing for Patterson for the second goal. And yeah, I think he's going to score bucket loads for us. Honestly, like I say, if we keep him fit, keep playing the ball to him, he can create chances out of nothing. There were amount of times where someone would just send the ball long for him, a nothing ball, and he's at least run onto it and try and make something happen and just cause chaos. And that's just like if you compare him to the likes of Morpay and even a Dobbin or a Danjuma up there even. And it's just, it's light and day, isn't it? It's completely different. It's exactly what we've did it for so long. So yeah, to end on a positive like that, I think is a good thing. But yeah, that has been the player ratings video for the Sheffield United game. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment below, giving your thoughts on the players' individual performances. What ratings would you have given? Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I've said? And yeah, please subscribe to the Toffee Blues channel for more Everton content. And we will see you in the next video.